Hello guys, this is Modest Major here, bringing you some commentary over some 65 and 1 Capture the Flag gameplay. It's a pretty awesome gameplay. I mean, the actual match itself isn't much of a spectacle, if I'm being honest. Like, because me, Severed Void, and Solomon are all super aggressive, you know, as a result, there's moments where one of us will take the limelight and start hogging the kills, and then the other one will just be left with a bunch of assists. And there were times when I was like, am I even going to get the gameplay? Because I wasn't getting, like, kills for so long. But then it would switch around and then I'd start getting the kills, etc, etc. If you haven't seen Solomon's video already, he showed his perspective of the game. He went 75 and 4. Severed Void went 57 and 2. And also got a Killtrocity with a sniper rifle in it. Which, in my opinion, is just a little bit greedy. You know, he already got some beast gameplay. And then he just adds in the Killtrocity with a sniper in it. Just ridiculous. I'm super happy with the scoreline. I can't, you know, a lot of people are just going to say or think that, you know, this is against terrible players, so why does it even matter? I mean, these players are idiots. They are dumb as posts. No one is trying to dispute that whatsoever. They're flinging, I mean, their primary weapon is basically sticky grenade. But I don't think this gameplay is completely, you know, devoid of skill. You know, playing aggressively against any player, if they can wield a controller, it is always going to be dangerous. And you're always going to have some level of risk assessment and, you know, when to enter situations, when to not enter situations and stuff like that. And having an eye for that and which approach to take. Do you want to take the more aggressive approach or do you want to take the mid-range approach, depending on what the player is doing. And a lot of it is instinct. And, you know, I'm not going to say that this is like some sort of, you know, godly show of MLG skill, because it obviously isn't. It is just a really consistent spawn trap. I think, you know, just because me, Void, and Solomon are all play so aggressively and are pretty darn consistent for the most part in terms of public matches, that if one of us screws up, like if I'm playing aggressive and I start missing a few shots, because Severed Void is standing behind me like some sort of Archangel with the, some sort of Guardian Angel with a sniper rifle, and then Solomon is also running in with a shotgun, if I, you know, miss a shot or mess up, they're there to pick up the slack, and as a result, it's far harder for me to make mistakes. It almost just felt like playing combat training this, if I'm being 100% honest. And it was fun. It was fun. I have a lot of fun doing this. I'm not gonna lie. You know, a lot of people get bored playing the more easier players. I thrive on it. I thrive on trying to get, like, it's almost like playing an arcade and you want to get the high scores on the leaderboard. You want to be known for the highest kills. And although some people would say that pub stomping isn't much of a skill, I would just have to disagree. I think there's varying degrees of pub stomping. I think, you know, anyone can pub stomp. Any average to good player can pub stomp from time to time. But it's a question of how consistently do you do it, and, you know, what kind of high scores can you pull off. And I think it's interesting. It's always, you know, in terms of watching gameplay, that's always been the most interesting thing for me. And it's kind of why Halo 4 kind of calls out to me a little bit. Halo 4 is arguably the least balanced Halo game that has come out to date. And in some, you know, on one end of the spectrum, that leads to some of the most frustrating experiences of any Halo game you will ever have. But on the other end of the spectrum, it leads to some of the most fun elements you will ever have. And I live for those fun elements. It's why I play consistently. And, you know, when I get one, I'm buzzing. I'm buzzing for the next, like, few days. I mean, I can't tell you how excited me, Severed Void, and Solomon were after this game. We were having an absolute whale of a time. And to some people, they'll look at that and just say, well, I'd rather play Throwdown Onyx and win a game by the skin of my teeth. But me, on the other hand, I'd rather completely destroy a bunch of idiots. And I know that sounds a bit petty, but it's just how I play the game and it's just how I enjoy it. And if you like it, stick around, because there's more to come. Probably not as good as this, though. I'm never going to get as good a score as this. I can say that for free. I mean, it went to time limit, and then it went to sudden death. It's just ridiculous. And to be honest, I don't expect you guys to watch the whole thing. I'm only going to commentate 6 minutes of it. You're probably thinking at this point, like, until that point, you were probably thinking, oh god, I'm going to have to watch a, you know, 16, 17-minute video of Major and Minors trying to freaking... Sorry, not Major and Minors, that's my old YouTube name. Modest Major trying to come up with cool stuff to say for 17 minutes, which obviously would have been boring, and I just would have started ranting. But no, at the 6-minute mark, or the 6-minute 30 mark, something like that, I'll just start putting in some music. On the topic of music, like, a lot of players hate... A lot of people on YouTube hate the fact that you can't, you know, use any music that you want to. People wish they could use copyrighted music and get away with it. I'd say to those people, if you go back to old video games and try and find music from them, I've played a ton of old N64 games, and some of the soundtracks on those games are absolutely amazing, and they very rarely get caught up for copyright, and as a result, that's just my go-to, and you'll hear a lot of video game soundtracks that I hope you guys enjoy in the background. If you don't want to enjoy, I don't blame you. If you don't want to watch the whole thing, sorry, I don't blame you. If I was the viewer, I probably wouldn't watch the whole thing because, I don't know, it just depends if you really want to study it, but there's not much you're going to learn from it. It is playing absolute idiots and trying to murder them as quickly as possible. But, you know, at the end of the day, I was chuffed with this gameplay. As I said, it was the most fun I've had in far too long. It brings back the memories. You know, there was like a 2-week burst when me, Solomon, and Void, when they just introduced the new CSR, when we were getting consistent gameplays time and time again, and that was some of the funnest times I've ever had on a game, and it just brought back that nostalgia. Even though it was only 2 months ago, I'm still getting nostalgic. And some people, you know, like say, someone was telling me that Halo 4, I think it was Severed Void, said that, you know, Halo 4 he likes now, but he doesn't like, he might not see it as his favorite game, but when he looks back in time, like after a long time has passed, he will look back at this game with nostalgia and he'll love this game. And I have to say I feel exactly the same. Like at the moment, you know, I'm playing it all the time, so I get a little bit bored and maybe a tiny bit frustrated with some elements of the gameplay. But I think when I look back on this game in like a year or two, I will see this as one of my favorite Halo games, if not my favorite. And I know that sounds outlandish, and I know that sounds crazy to some people, but man, some of the fun I've had with this game, it's just been off the wall. Anyway, I've been Modest Major. I hope you guys enjoy the commentary. And yeah, here's a few pieces of music for you guys. Peace out.
Here we go.